Red Bird, Red Bird. Some fans saw the signs from the start. They spoke out, said Red Bird don't get it, what Milan's about. All these corporate moves got us out of tune. Maldini gone and he pursuing too soon. The soul of the club feeling taken for ransom. Ain't the Milan that we love, feeling ghost and abandoned. Red Bird, they stepped in, but where's the soul? Now the curve is echoing, chants so bold. From the start, voices rang. Yeah, we had a plan like, yo, Red Bird, let go of Milan. Bought our crest, but they sold our pride. We bled for the red and black, but they're taking us for a ride. Tradition getting lost in their bottom line chase. And the true fans, we just losing face. This city built legends, champions rose, but Red Bird don't get it, they just counting zeros. Red Bird, they stepped in, but where's the soul? Now the curve is echoing, chants so bold. From the start, voices rang. Yeah, we had a plan like, yo, Red Bird, let go of Milan. Reppin' ACM, that means something deep. It ain't all shiny brands, it's a legacy we keep. They think they can buy up the passion we bring, but they don't know what our red and black means. Milanista's calling for respect of our crest. Red Bird, you missed it, this ain't no business test. So here's the word from the curvers chant. You can't buy a history, you gotta understand. From Sheva to Paulo, pride we won't sell. If Red Bird won't listen, then they best farewell. Fans got the passion, this club we uphold. So hear us now, this story's retold. Red Bird, they stepped in, but where's the soul? Now the curve is echoing, chants so bold. From the start, voices rang. Yeah, we had a plan like, yo, Red Bird, let go of Milan. 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 Bought our crest, but they sold our pride. We bled for the red and black, but they're taking us for a ride. Tradition getting lost in their bottom line chase. And the true fans, we just losing face. This city built legends, champions rose, but Red Bird don't get it, they just counting zeros. Red Bird, they stepped in, but where's the soul? Now the curve is echoing, chants so bold. From the start, voices rang. Yeah, we had a plan like, yo, Red Bird, let go of Milan. Red Bird, let go of Milan. Let go of Milan. Red Bird, they stepped in, but where's the soul? Now the curve was echoing, chants so bold. From the start, voices rang. Yeah, we had a plan like, yo, Red Bird, let go of Milan. Reppin' ACM, that means something deep. It ain't all shiny brands, it's a legacy we keep. They think they can buy up the passion we bring, but they don't know what our red and black means. La la la, red and black, let go of Milan. Let Bird, let go of Milan. Let Bird, let go of Milan. Let Bird, let go of Milan. Red Bird, let Bird, let go of Milan. Let go of Milan.
Milan Nation, Milanista. It's your host, Nicko, as always, the Milanista Report. And today, just like most of us expected, we talked about it right after the Madrid game, that this was bound to happen. I've had a couple minutes, a little half hour or so to compose myself, get my thoughts together, not go on a crazy rant and not curse everybody out that needs to be cursed out. But, and then, during the show, I'll definitely go on a rant, but it's going to be more tempered, more controlled than usual. Hopefully, let's see how it goes. All right, everybody's tuned in. Let's get the show on the road. So obviously 3-3 tied today. Early on, before we get into it, Cagliari started off the bat, 2 minutes in, giving up a goal on a corner kick. Now this was kind of a recurrent theme, this type of shots on goal from Cagliari, right? They found certain patterns in our defense. Certain times in space, they found those pockets of space to expose our back line, right? Lorita, Off that corner, we were playing a hybrid of zonal man-to-man on that set piece. That's what we did throughout the game. But on that back post, a little bit outside the PK area, the guy was wide open. Goal. All right. Liao comes back in the 15th minute. A nice chip pass by, well-weighted pass from our boy TJ Tijani, 1-1. All right. Then 40th minute, nice through ball from Fofana. There was a nice tackle from the back line, right? From Chow, decent tackle. Fofana recovered the ball. Nice through ball. Actually, it's a kind of stat, which is the Germans created, by the way. It's called packing. It kind of calculates how many players you take out of a pass, how many defenders, right? And he took out like 3 or 4 in that pass. So nice through ball. Liao breaks out. He took a nice finish by Liao. All right. Zappa comes back in 53rd minute. And then Abraham with the chip in, the tap in 69th and 89th minute. Zappa again. Those are the goals right there. So let's get into some stats and then we'll the tactical breakdown real quick, guys. All right. Let me give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat and to all the fellow podcasters out there, Rosseneri TV, the usual bunch that, view this, have the same views as us, right? I'm not happy with this result. Even after the Madrid victory, this kind of run was not sustainable by the club, right? Some of us got too excited over that win, and now we're back to reality. That being said, let's get into the stats. So stats, FOT mob. All right, so 1.5 not expected goals for Cagliari, 3.2 for us. Total shots 16 to 13, shots on target 7 to 6. Them big chances missed. I had 3, we had 1. Other big stats. They had 7 interceptions. We had 3. So, just like I said, that was the one thing I was looking at, ball recoveries, and which is Cagliari is really good at. I talked about that during the pregame pod. That Cagliari has really good ball recovery players. They're really good tactically on that. Duels won. This is the big one. They won 44. We won 34. Ground duels 50 to 50%. Aerial duels 69 to 31. So going into this game, we were actually throughout the season we were tied. We had won 52%. They had won 52 as well. But in this game, even with Pavlovic and Chow in the back line, they still won 69% of their aerial duels to 31. That's terrible. That's a really bad stat considering the center back pairing that we had. And let's look at defensive recoveries. So, which is another big stat. Zappa had 6. Fofana had 4. Not enough from Fofana. I'm surprised Musa didn't play, even though after Musa's really good game versus Madrid, he had 7 ball recoveries in that game. Outplayed Fofana by a lot in that game. And I don't think he even saw the pitch today. As far as I know, I didn't see him at all. Let's take a look. Yeah, he didn't even go in today's game, did he, guys? No, kind of Kamada went out for Tammy. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, Musa had a really good game, and you needed him to play defense, to recover balls. You put in Loftus-Cheeks instead, which makes no sense to me at all. It's a head scratching decision for Fonseca. He's not consistent enough with his substitutions at all, even his tactical decisions through this game, especially in the second half. At all. All right, everybody locked in. Give me your thoughts on today's game. I'll give you a quick shout out. Hey, what's up, Casa? You're new to your show. What's happening? Fonseca needs to go. Yeah, we've been saying this since day one, even after the Madrid win. Fonseca is not the man for this job. He's out of his depth in so many ways, especially when it comes to playing in Syria against tactically good teams that are tactically prepared. They know how to break down defenses. What's up, Lab? Fonseca did not suddenly turn into an alpha man. He was never any good. He's only a mere reflection of the ambition of the club, and that ambition is not worthy of AC Milan. 1,000%, Lab. What's up? Who else is in the chat? Yeah, I don't see him having the balls or admitting their mistake at all. What's up, Chris? Forza Soccer. Good seeing you too, Abdullah. Who is selling? All right. Get to the last comment and get back into the tactical stuff, boys. Who are we selling this winter? Market Jovic, Origi, Balo. I have no idea. We'll see. That being said, tactically speaking, let me get to my notes here real quick, boys. So Cagliari, they played they sat back today. They didn't really press up the pitch, trying to get win balls up the pitch too much, like they've done with other teams. Not surprisingly that against bigger opponents like us, they take less chances, right? Especially with Leao and Pulisic. So they kind of sat back on a 4-4-2 mid block. Pretty much the game didn't really press the ball at us. Gave us that time and space to build up. We didn't really take advantage of it. Not enough times, anyways, like we should have. And then they actually fell into a 6-2-2 low block in the first half, once or twice, which we couldn't break down. In terms of Milan, we played a zonal press, 4-4-2 mid block. We dropped back into, and then later in the game we dropped into that 5-3-2, which doesn't make sense, or 5-4-1, depending how it went. It flowed back and forth, right? It was changing depending on the dynamics, right, of the formation, which is very common, right? Because formations, like we said 100,000 million times, are not static; they change. So that's the big one. The fact that Fonseca decided to play 5 in the back with the lead instead of going for the win. You have the players. You have Leao. You have Pulisic. You have Kamada early on. You have Tijani. And you decide to sit back on a low block, on a 5-3-2 low block. And they still found a way to get through for that tying goal, by the way. The rest defense, same old stuff. I'm not sure why we have Chow and Pavlovich back there, 2 very experienced center backs, and you're pushing up Theo and Emerson. Emerson has no wheels on him to recover on those runs, to come back on those wingers at all. But again, for whatever reason, Fonseca keeps sending him out there again and again, and he doesn't even pose a threat offensively at all. All right, and luckily for us, a lot of times when they caught us, they had a couple of really good scoring opportunities. With one that where Chow was not marking his man closely enough, and they made that run over the top. They were offsides by inches or centimeters. All right, and we weren't even playing the offside traps today. They just happened to be caught offsides by the smallest margins. Cagliari. All right, and they had plenty of really good opportunities, because they kept exposing our back line because they're inexperienced. We should have had Tomori back there or somebody else. This is why I'm saying it again and again. This January market, we need to get an experienced center back. That's our biggest concern, and a right back. Those are the 2 biggest things that we need. Get somebody like Lukumi. I don't care. Somebody who's experienced in Serie A. Takes a lot quicker to transition into Syria. It's not going to take 3 months to learn the system. And you get a right back that knows how to defend first and has enough speed to recover if you're going to push him up the field when we're in position of the ball. All right, and you're pushing up the 2 fullbacks. Yeah, second half, pretty much the same stuff, in terms of defensive formation. The big thing is that I noticed in the second half, guys, on that second goal, and I have some, let me pull up where is it? Captions, design, hold on. Let me share something real quick. I haven't done this in a while, so hold on. Guys, give me your thoughts on transfer market. Who should we be trying to get? All right. Do you guys want a right back, center back, striker, midfielder? Let me know. Well, I pull up this graph real quick. Presentations. And if anybody's interested in helping me out run this board, doing this, that's not what I want. During my live videos, let me know. I can't promise you I'll pay you with cash. There we go. All right. So this is the second goal right here. You can see Theo is a little bit out of position. He's not tucked in enough. He's not pinching in. He should be pinched in, first of all. He should be tucked in right behind Pavlovic. But he's not. And he's not even the right. His stance is fine. But he should be pinching in just a little bit and covering, shadowing Pavlovic to provide that cover, right? And the first mistake is Fonda took a bad touch. You can see here, sends the ball this way. All right, then Pavlovic, boom, makes a really bad mistake here. Makes a challenge that he shouldn't have made. He took a huge risk going for the ball instead of trapping it or settling it with his chest, something, and then clearing it out or sending it back to Mike. In this case, he went try to. I don't know what he was trying to do in this case. I have no idea. Brawn over brain, it seems like in this case. Doesn't even make contact with the ball. And this man right here is making that run through. And by the time Theo realized it, because Theo was not pinched in enough, even with Theo's speed, he's there too late. And there's he's off to the races. And there he is. And we're just all sorted out. We have two players out of position here because Pavlovic took himself out of the play. Theo wasn't pinched in enough. And we got two men going after the ball. And then on the third goal, there's the corner. Again, this was almost like the first goal. And there it is. Bad marking, not enough communication in the back line, which we've seen a time and time again from this Milan team. And Fonseca hasn't fixed it yet. He's too worried about his possession-based football because he's not the right man for this job. Doesn't know what he's doing tactically at all. So I haven't done this this is the first time I'm doing this season, but fellas, this is embarrassing. So enough of that, because I can't. I see this any more. These graphics. Somebody could throw something to the wall really quick, boys. I'm not happy at all today. Let's stop sharing here. All right, hold on, guys. I need to stop sharing this if I can. Design. Where is it? Hold on, fellas. Having some technical issues here. Presentation. Oh, there we go. All right. Hold on, guys, because I just screwed something up. Hold on here. What is going on today? There we go. Now let's get rid of this. Delete. Why is this happening? Hide. Okay. Here we go. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Seems like Restream added a couple new features here, which I have no idea what's going on, but we're back on track. Hold on. All right, we're back, boys. Sorry about that. So, just broke down some stats, tactics, really poor management, game management from Fonseca in this game. All right. Not enough ball recoveries. Our back line was just awful today. Our set piece defending was awful, as usual. Something we in the past we blamed Pioli about, and Fonseca has not corrected it one bit. All right. Let's get into rant time. And I said it last time. I'm going to say it again. Milan Nation. A lot of people, well, in a minute, may get into the Fonseca's post-game interview. All right. You guys tell me what you think about the way he's talking about after the game, but his thoughts on the game. All right. But like I said, many of us have said it. A lot of certain Milanisti, even management, some of the players were so ecstatic after that game against Madrid. Like, we won the Champions League. Like, this is where this management has failed. You put together a collective of players who are not winners, a lot of them. You win against Madrid, a game that meant nothing in the big picture. Nothing. Beat a Madrid team that is not a great Madrid. It's not a Galacticos team. It's not the team from last year. Even Madristas have said it again and again, popular podcasts, that this team is not great this season. It's a good team, individual players, but collectively they're not a good team. Because we saw it when we went to that low block, they couldn't find ways through it. They couldn't find creative solutions to break through it. It's dependent on individual brilliance, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you saw Cagliari today. They were able to find solution. They were finding times and space. They were exploiting certain things that Milan was doing defensively today. There's the big difference right there. There's teams like these, like Cagliari, coached by David Nicolo, coaches that know Serie A, know how to break these things down, know how to exploit your weaknesses. I'm not saying Carlo doesn't, but he relies too much on his players to do that for him. And what happened? I said it again and again in that post game. That win, if we don't win today, convincingly, we go back to either dropping points like we did, or which we did, or just straight out losing. That game meant nothing. That in the big picture, that tells you that Fonseca is not the answer. And this project that Redbird put together is utter garbage, plain and simple. And I hate to say it, because I like some of the players on this team, even though we're missing that Italian core. It was nice seeing him come out of there today. He played well. But overall, this team is hard to really get behind because of what management has done. Sure, Tajani is a nice player. But the rest of them, Pavlovic, a waste of a signing. Royale is a waste of a signing. Chow, whatever. He can either stay or go. I could care less. So 3 out of your people, your back line are below average. Most of the time, defense in terms of defensive IQ. Sure, Chow has a good range of passing. People have talked about that before. Pavlovic brings nothing to the table. He's a very physical player, makes a lot of mistakes. And we saw that with that second goal that I just showed you. And that's not the first time. And this Redbird is on them and Fonseca. And Fonseca, he kind of lined up for this loss, saying after the Madrid game that teams, Monza, Cagliari, are much tougher to beat than Madrid. That's another thing. As a coach, you shouldn't be saying that publicly. How can you give your players, your supporters confidence when you come out publicly and you say that, oh, the teams, Monza, the team that we barely beat, are tougher, and the team that we're playing now are tougher to beat? Yes, no shit. Of course they are, because they have more time to study your opponents, because they're based on a collective unit. They don't rely on individual brilliance, which can fail you a lot of times. How many times did Pioli do that with last year, right? And we spoke about that. Another thing that bugs me about Fonseca as well, the fact that he talked about, teams in Serie A play man-to-man marking. Well, Cagliari didn't do that today. They sat back. They give you all the time and space, Fonseca, for your team to build up and to be creative and to create your triangles and find solutions. So that whole excuse about, they play man-to-man marking, throw that out the window as well. I don't want to hear that. If we had a strong coach, what I want to hear as a fan, and most fans would want to hear is like, teams are much more tactically, ready for us in Syria, but we'll find ways to beat them. That's what he should have said. But these excuses, blaming Pioli, blaming the way players have these certain behaviors from the past coach, and again and again, so lining up excuses after excuses is enough. I've had enough of this. I'm done. Absolutely done. Because we should have beat this team. If we were so great, like some fans think we are after the Madrid game, that meant nothing again. Meant nada. The big picture. We didn't beat them in the semifinals. We didn't beat them in the Champions League finals. It's not going to go down as one of the most historic games ever for Milan, in my book anyways. Because we knew what big picture was, that we needed to go on a run. If we wanted to compete for a top 4 spot, which is still not, by my standard, is not enough. But with the coach that we have, some of the players that we have, that's the expectations for a lot of people. And I understand that. And that's up to management. Well, that's perfectly fine for management. Redbird, by the way, big nah to Redbird. All right, Malakis, for celebrating that victory over Madrid like you won something big. Get out of here. Come on. Now we got Juve coming up. And Juve right by now, they're beating Torino in the 30th minute, 1-0. Let's take a quick look at the table here, boys. Table. So currently Napoli's still 25 points. Inter's at 24. At Atlanta, 20. They just jumped up. If Juve wins today, if they hold on to the lead, they're at 24. They tie with Inter. So how so many people want to shit on Juve and shit on Motta, that he wasn't ready to coach a big club. He's tied for second place right now currently. At Atlanta's at 22. I think they play tomorrow. We'll take a look at tomorrow's games in a second. Fiorentina's at 22. Lazio 22, and Milan at 18 points. And currently our form is, in the last 5 games, loss, win, draw. That's so inconsistent. It hurts my brain. And Udinese, who's right behind us, are at 16 points. And Bologna's nipping right there. They're at 15, and Empoli's 15. And if Udinese wins, they're tied with us. Oh, they're actually ahead in points. I'm sorry. They'll jump up to 19 points. And if Bologna wins, they'll be up at 18 points. So we're even struggling right now. We're even struggling to make top 5 right now. And tomorrow's game, like I said, at Atlanta, Udinese, that's a big game. Fiorentina has Verona, Roma, Bologna. That should be an easy one for Bologna to play the cards right. Monza, Lazio. Looks like on paper, Lazio should win that game. They've been in good form. They've won they've only lost 1 out of their last 5 games, so they're on a good streak. And they're in European competition as well. And then you got Inter Napoli tomorrow. That's the big one. That's an interesting matchup. Let's see how Conte plays his cards tactically against Inter. 2 great coaches, by the way. That's where you want to be, all right? Because Napoli understands what it takes to win Serie A. You hire an Italian coach. Out of the history of Serie A, only a handful, maybe like 3 or 4 coaches that I know of, 3 or 4 have won Serie A, Scudetto. And they were all great coaches. So this take on Fonseca is the man to take. He's the one to break that mold. He'll be he's not. If it's going to be any non-Italian coach winning the Serie A, it's not Fonseca by any means, fellas. Not in a million years. Not with this management too. If you had a high caliber coach, he would be able to win games despite management, just like Klopp did with that management he had. Because Klopp, again, he's at a whole different level than Fonseca. Coaches like that can make teams take them to a different level despite what management does, how much management wants to fuck things up. But Fonseca is not that guy. Let's get back into the chat. All right. Let me give a shout out. What's up, Kim? I'm also sick and tired of our fans trolling other teams like Roma and Napoli, blah, blah. When we have absolutely serious problems at our own club, we run like a circus. Yep. Kim, my brother, you're on point with that. So let me get into what Fonseca said after the game real quick, too. Almost forgot about that. Fonseca began his post-match interview by talking about the game. I think Milan's problem wasn't with the ball, but was defensive. I have to say that they're lacking aggression at the moment. It's not possible to win a game when you have so many crosses where you lose all aerial duels. We cannot draw a game if we concede 3 goals. Yeah, no shit. To step backwards can 3 goals like that. But this falls on Fonseca. When your team is not aggressive, you're leading the men on the field. You're leading them in training. If they're not training aggressively during training or training poorly, right? If they're not being prepared right to play a team like Cagliari or any opponent, this falls on the coach. You fall on your sword like a man. Throwing this on the team itself, you're blaming the players, in my opinion. So he continues, we also play a 3-man midfield. I think the problem today wasn't offensive. The team's only problem was how we suffered. We started the match by conceding a goal that we cannot concede. Again, because you're setting goes on you, setting up the team on set pieces. Fonseca concluded the interview by saying Theo can do better defensively. We are working to correct many things. I think that in general we can do all better. It wasn't easy for Kamada. He did well what he did, and I'm satisfied with his performance. Yeah, Kamada had a good game. But Theo, don't blame this on Theo himself. Yeah, those goals came on his side, but also there's other issues as well. All right. I like that second goal we talked about. That was on Fofana and Pavlovic. When I not mention Pavlovic, maybe because he doesn't want to, because that's management's pick. They chose to sign him, but you want to pick on there who was signed by Maldini under his watch. So there you go. There's our great Fonseca with his post game. And by the way, if anybody asks me, this is not Uzo, this is not vodka. God, not yet. Anyways, it's too early for that shit. This is just seltzer water right now, boys. It's a good time to get blasted right now, but not that's the time. Maybe later on tonight. Modern Milan fans don't expect to win. They see a 3-3 as Cagliari as not bad. It's a different generation too, John. Also, the excuse that Fonseca needs time when he has the same amount of time as Conte. Monte had a Juve for Napoli, respectively, but they praised Fonseca for his masterclass in the West Tour. Yeah, we all saw that. We talked about that, Kim. We talked about that those games wasn't really good benchmark for our club at all, whatsoever. All right, because we knew those teams. Yeah, we beat Madrid. Wow, we beat Barcelona. Wow, those teams were playing a bunch of academy kids, and we played on smaller pitches too, especially Yankee Stadium. It's a lot easier to look much cleaner passing the ball on a smaller pitch. It's not a regulation pitch size. Yeah. It's a disgrace to draw against a team like this. But you know what's even more disgrace? That the fact that Fonseca tactically is not prepped ready for this league at all. He's being exposed. Yeah. And Roma's mostly, they're speaking to Mancini. Would have been a great replacement for Fonseca. And hold on, boys. I got something for Fonseca. Hold on, let me cue in this song. And I'll have you guys jump on. I'm going to share a link in a minute too.
Fonseca, you out of your depth, no cap, wearing the Rosseneri colors, but you ain't built for that. You're supposed to lead legends, but you soft like wool. In the dugout looking lost, didn't play like a fool. AC Milan, ain't for yes men or weak links. You just nod the red bird like you afraid to think. Real gaffers hold weight, but you moving like a pawn. Got no backbone, man, you already gone. You ain't got the fight or the fire in your chest. The curve is sud season, you ain't passing the test. We need a lion in the jungle, not a sheep in the game. But you bow to the board, bringing nothing to shame. Fonseca out of this death, can't hang with the kings. The love's too big, man, you pulling pocket strings. No backbone, no pride, just a redbird man. You ain't fit to lead us, better switch up the plan. You ain't suited for this throne, the pressure too high. Milan's history heavy, but you barely get by. Got no Greek.
All right. You guys get the idea. Fonseca, Jerry, Moncada, Ibra, you're all out of your depth. You guys need to leave stat. Pack up your gear, pack up your suitcases, pack up your shit, and leave. Jerry's fit to run some MLS club in the United States. Moncada shouldn't be, I don't know, Moncada should go back to scouting the French teams. Ibra, focus on your business. Football's not for you either. At all. All right, fellas. Sorry about that. That was my kid. She was trying to break down my door. She wanted to hang out with daddy. But let's get back into this. Let's dive back into the BS of this victory today. Oh, victory for some fans. Oh, utter embarrassment. All right, let me share the. Let me get into the next Rosseneri Rumble. I'm gonna put the link to the pod. You guys can jump on. All right, anybody can jump on. Kim can jump on. More than welcome. Lab as well. Anybody else? You don't have to turn on your cameras. Come on, rant, talk whatever you want. All right, you can go bananas. All right, hold on, boys. Let me share this link. And again, I need somebody to run my board. All right, I can offer, I don't know, some Mexican beers, some tacos, some burritos, some Mexican cuisine on the house. She's good, man. She's hold on, let me pull up John's comment. Hope his kid is okay. Sound like she went flying. No, man, she's 4. She's eating that Mexican diet. So she's a strong kid. She was trying to knock down the door, literally kicking it down. So if you guys want to jump on, anybody. All right. That being said, let's continue with the show. So, listen, fellas, and then let's talk about Juve. Juve is still winning 1-0, 43rd minute, by the way. I don't know about you, but obviously Fonseca's going to stay. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. And with that being said, we know Sadi's an option. We talked about Mancini looks like he's off the books. Looks like Roma's going to get him, most likely, which is a good move by them. Oh, Fadinho, what's happening? We're all pissed off. But you know what, Fadinho? I said it during the pregame today. And most of us knew it. Most of us, intelligent, not even, I want to say intelligent, but realistic Milanisti. Who are mature enough to understand things, right? To see how what's really happening, right? The big picture. That this game was not going to be easy. That the inner game was smoke and mirrors. Man, that was a tired Inter. They were not the prime Inter, And that Madrid team is not the Madrid team that we all fear. All right, and we saw Cagliari. They exposed our weaknesses. All right, almost every goal, almost even the offsides, they had a pattern of play. Cagliari, they had a plan of attack. They knew exactly how they wanted to execute it and how to attack our back line. All right, and Mike's made some spectacular saves too. As always, he saved our asses again. Yeah, I mean, we talk about the same stuff again and again. Regardless if we're playing, a high press, high line, then we drop back into a 5-3-2, 5-4-1, low block late in the game, which we shouldn't have. That was a huge mistake. Where was Musa today? Why wasn't Musa playing? He deserved to close down the match, being that he was coming off the Madrid game, how he played defensively. Nowhere to be seen. Fofana had an average game today, 2 average games back to back for us. He was outplayed by Musa in the last game. In this game, he was outplayed again. He was nowhere to be seen. You can't expect Tajan to help him too much defensively. That's not his game. Where it should be, like I said, if you're playing that double pivot, you should be able to defend. But some of you out there think That's not the case. If you want to stick Tajani in the midfield, you stick 3 or 4. You stick 4 defenders in the midfield. Players in the midfield. Play 3 in the back, 4 in the middle. If you want to get really wild, you play 5 in the middle to cover up for those deficiencies they have defensively. Somebody like Tajani. But no, we're sticking with this fucking double pivot again and again, which doesn't work with a midfielder that is not good defensively. Yes, he's very silky on the ball, has good vision, all that, but you need to defend. You need to cover for your fullback on that when they're pulled in on those wingers. They need to be able to defend, to recover balls. You can't depend on Fofana to do everything by him fucking self. And today he didn't do anything. And that's why our midfield, the way it looked, it is. Again and again. And then you have a really weak back line to boot. You got 2 center backs that have no business playing together, no leadership. As a matter of fact, another thing that I realized today is that, hold on, I got people up. Hold on, I got a full house. Oh, shit. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Kim, what's happening?
I don't know where to start. It felt like a loss, dude. I don't know what to say. I'm pissed. Absolutely pissed.
Let it out, Kim.
I mean, as I said in the chat, Chow and Pavlovic together, it's a recipe for disaster. And we saw it.
Because there's no experience in the back line. You got 2 super experienced players that make mistakes, right? They don't cover for each other. You have and you have a midfield, right? If you notice one thing on the mid, there's no leadership in the midfield at all. Right?
No, absolutely not.
Nothing. And this is what we get. But again, we don't have any. What do we have? We have Tomori. Tomori was even on the bench? I
didn't even see the bench.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me get Abdi in here as well. Regardless, man, you're 1,000%. We should be mad. We should be upset about this.
And dude, Pavlovic, I'm going to say it. Some people might not like it. I don't give a fuck. But it wasted money for me. Absolute waste of money and pointless. We didn't even need to sign him.
No, not at all. We should have signed this.
Why did we get?
Yeah, we should have signed a center
why
back.
didn't we?
Go ahead.
Why didn't we keep Kalulu or Simic, but we got him?
Exactly. Simic.
Look at Simic. Simic is killing it at Anderlecht. He even made a team of the week in the Europa League, for crying out loud. Look at him. He's built up now and he's hungry. But Pavlovic, what's he done? He's done jack shit.
Nothing. He's just a big
useless. He just takes out players. He hurts our own players, especially. Like fucking hell.
Hey, Abdi's here as well. Abdi, give us your thoughts on the game.
Unfortunately, what can I say? That last goal was the biggest load of crap I think I've ever seen. Because how he scores that volley, it was just written in the stars. What can we do? I mean, I don't think we deserve to lose.
Can't hear you properly.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Abdi. Abdi, try to call us back. It's coming off. Kim, you can barely hear him, correct?
Yeah, no, just barely.
Yeah, Abdi, try reconnecting, Abdi. How about now?
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A little bit better.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, it was just an unfortunate loss. We did not deserve to lose that game in no way, shape, or form. I think. Well, apart from the individual mistakes, I think the first goal was very lucky, and that last goal was just a screamer. That I don't want to fault the team, but I have to mention some individuals. Pavlovic and Fofana, they cost us the game today. That back pass from Fofana and Pavlovic moving out like an absolute idiot. I don't know what he's seeing for him to completely move out of his position. Doesn't make sense. And then flipping the last goal when we just scored our goal, for them to score our volley, nah, I don't want to fault the team. I don't want to fault Fonseca either. I think we played well for the most part.
Listen, well, if you look at the stats, stat-wise, they had plenty of opportunities, even on those offsides, Abdi, and I think most of us can agree, they were razor thin. We weren't even
And we
playing
still conceded as well. We're just lucky it was offside.
They were offsides, barely. We weren't playing an offsides trap. We weren't. Those two kids, Pavlovic and Chow, they don't know how to play it. They haven't played together long enough to understand how they work to communicate and play that offsides trap. We saw it when they played against Napoli. We didn't know how to play the offsides trap together. And that goal from Lukaku, right? We saw it today. And if they were, and Mike made some really good saves as well as usual, saved us. And that last goal was not lucky. They exploited space. Cagliari, they saw the weaknesses in our back line. That there was no communication, the way they were organized, the way they were just kind of all over the place. And they took advantage of that because the first goal and the last goal were very similar. How they happened.
I mean, the last goal, it was that volley, right? It was that screamer of a volley.
Yeah, but the guy was unmarked. You don't leave players unmarked in a box like that. Those high-quality shots on goal are inexcusable.
And
to my point, I said the same things about Pioli as well with the set pieces last season. Again and again.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it again. And this is because Fonseca, he's focused much more on the offense. We all know that. He's very attack minded, which is great. But defensively, he doesn't understand the nuances of that. Either that's where you hire a set piece coach. That's when you hire a set piece coach, somebody to come in to get that organized.
Literally copy and paste. Copy and paste pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that regard, look, for me, Thiaw had a pretty good game. I mean, he was winning all his aerial duels. Like, I think he was solid. His issue is Pavlovic.
No.
But I think his issue is Pavlovic.
They're not covering for each other. Yes, Chow is okay. I agree. Chow didn't make any huge mistake. Chow, to his credit, this season hasn't made any mental errors yet.
No.
Maybe he got that out of his system. It's possible. All right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
But Pavlovic was not needed. We didn't need to buy him. We could have kept Kalulu or Simic.
I agree. Gabia with somebody like you don't even pair him with Simic. You need somebody with a little bit more experience back there.
And he doesn't even have experience in the league, Pavlovic. I don't know what they saw in him, to be honest with you.
No, especially when we have good center backs in Italy that are affordable. I'm not even talking about Buongiorno and Calafrio. There's plenty of the good center backs out there that we could have picked up that were well worth our range. We didn't even decide to get them.
We could have even had Spinazzola on a free as backup.
Dude, we had a chance to get Scalvini, fellas. When we were in talks with Atlanta about CDK, all right? This is before Scalvini got hurt when he tore up his ACL. We could have used CDK as in that piece to get a good price on Scalvini. We didn't. They decided not to. They just gave CDK practically free to our competitor. We could have had one of the best Italian center backs practically for free for a good price, and we didn't do it. And now we're seeing the price. We're paying for it because we have a weak midfield defensively. It's not there, and our back line is extremely weak as well.
And we're probably gonna do the same mistake with Kalulu to Juve as well.
Dude, Juve is not. Juve is going to end up signing him. They're going to sign him to a
Oh,
long-term
exactly.
contract.
That's what I'm saying.
I
And
mean,
they're gonna
it's not
sign him for peanuts too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an obligation. I don't know why we would give them to him. Well, in the first place, I'm not going to lie, if I'm being fair to the management, he was injury prone a lot last season. So
Yeah,
it was
okay.
understandable.
Abdi, right there. Hold on. So last season,
Yeah.
our former coach, and this falls on him too, decided to play Kalulu when he was hurt. He admitted it. He wasn't fit to play a game, and he played him regardless, and he got hurt again. So that's not the player's fault. But now Fonseca, you have a new medical team. If you have a stronger, if Fonseca had a stronger, more responsibility for the players to management, who were the players that he wanted, he would have kept Kalulu.
Yep.
I mean, the only way to rectify that wrong is to bring him back and not accept any amount from.
Oh, you know that's not going to happen.
No.
There's no way.
If I was,
you really going to think that Redbird, they're looking to make their payment back to Elliott, right? Because that's their main thing, is to pay back the loan right now, right? They're going to look to sell Kalulu. Kalulu's expendable for them right now.
I don't know why. We could have had the chance if we gave Kalulu to Juve. Why didn't they ask for Chiesa in return? That's what we should have done if that really was the case.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I just think this season we're being hard done by quite a bit. Like most of these draws and like losses, I don't think we deserve them, really and truly.
But we actually did deserve them, because that's the way.
Yeah.
The reality is, the result is what you get. You can't say, well, if this could have happened, or that could happen, or this or that, or this call could. If that was the case, there was a couple of calls that could have, if that went against us today, those offsides, we would have been complaining, some of us today. Like, oh, why did they call that offsides against us?
Yeah,
what didn't VAR review that?
Yeah, but an offside is an offside. Is black and white. With fouls and stuff, they can be interpreted in different ways. Like the Rangers one against Udinese, it can be interpreted in a different way. But offsides are black and white, really and truly. So I don't know, man. I just hate drawing like this. It leaves so much more to desire.
That falls down to also game management. You're up a goal late in the game. You decide to go to a 5-3-2 low block, and you lost his cheeks in the game.
I mean,
who doesn't defend? Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't defend. He doesn't hold on to the ball. He's an EPL style player that knows one speed, fast. He doesn't know how to slow down the game. Doesn't know how to pause the game. None of that. That's not in his tradecraft. He doesn't have that in his toolbox. Why not put Musa on if we're talking about game management? Somebody who could defend or make another adjustment. But you decide to go to a low block late in the game and you pull off his cheeks, who doesn't offer nothing defensively. And then we end up eating the third goal. That falls on the coaching as well.
Okay.
And I'm not,
well,
because a coach, you make in those kind of situations, you decide, okay, listen, let me maybe press a little higher up. There's different options tactically instead of falling back on a low block late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It falls on everyone.
Yeah.
The coach to the captain of the team, everyone's got to take responsibility, no matter what. It's a team sport at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it's, for me, yeah, I thought, I didn't watch the last goal go in, right? So when I saw that last goal, I think even if Theo was close to him, that goal was still going to go in because it was such a good, perfect strike and it went top corner that even if Theo was there, for an example, I don't think it would have made a difference. But nevertheless, I think Fonseca, what he wants to do right there was just to go to a low block and grind out the game, as he should in a way. because we're away from home. We just played Madrid. You know, so we need to grind out games like these. So going to a 5-3-2 Inter style, I think was the right choice, but I think we were just hard done by. Look, putting on Loftus-Cheek, for me, Loftus-Cheek, okay, he's been off form this season. And yeah, you're right, he's an EPL type of player, but I think what Fonseca wanted to do was have quick counter-attacks with Tammy Abraham, Okafor, and Loftus-Cheek, really and truly. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't want to fault the manager too much.
Well, look, listen, fellas, big picture is big picture. All right. And is what are we going forward?
Going forward.
Going forward about this project, going forward with this season as well.
Well, we have Juventus next. I think we can beat them, and I think we will. In terms of Champions League, what we've beaten Real Madrid, and now we have very easy games, I would say.
Well, they're not easy games.
Not easy.
They're not easy. Most of our games are away. The next couple of games as well.
Mm-hmm.
And hostiles, these teams that we deem easy because they don't play in big leagues, right? Those games are extremely tough. Those teams technically usually play very aggressive and very fast, and they come at you. They're not going to sit back and wait for us to attack. They're not.
I agree to an extent. Yeah.
On paper, yeah, we have. On paper, yes, we do have more skilled players. Yeah, I get that, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But those games are tough.
Mm-hmm.
Look what Lille did to Madrid. Nobody expected that.
Yeah, but then like when I look at the table and I see us facing what was it? I can't remember the name. Well, Dinamo Zagreb, they're near the bottom. But Bratislava, who got destroyed by City's B team, these games realistically in a realistic world, that should be all the points guaranteed because I think Fonseca, what he did was he let go of Leverkusen and Liverpool, and we somehow magically managed to beat Madrid. And now he's probably going to see these last games as favorable games for us. So I think he'll go all in on them. So for me, my expectations are for us to qualify in the top 8 for UCL now. In the league is a bit different because now we keep falling backwards and backwards and backwards. But as I like to say a lot, the season is long. We haven't even got to the second half of the season. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
No, okay, Abby. So usually the seasons are won by teams who are big goal differentials. We're currently at 6 goal differentials +6, which is not good. That's terrible. So Lazio is at 10, Juve is at 13, Atlanta's at 15. All right. So at the end of the day. Right. And we already know Fonseca, he's already doesn't, tactically speaking, he has a hard time against these mid-table teams. Yeah, he might pull another fucking miracle out of his ass and beat Juve or Inter again one time. Then if you lose 3-4 games in a row against Udinese, Bologna, Empoli, games like that, Lazio's not an easy game either. Technically, for us to win the Scudetto, right? I said it before. Under this management, under this coach, is extremely difficult. Now, if you look at other teams that have won despite of management, it's because of a high-level coach. Somebody who's extraordinary, somebody who's a world-class. We don't have a world-class coach. Is Fonseca a terrible coach? No, he's not the worst coach ever. He does have his A license. He's coached professional soccer football before. So he's not terrible. But when you're dealing with in a very tactical league like Serie A, with experienced coaches that they put good collective teams together, right? They're not individual teams. They're hard to beat, man.
And as well, it all starts in the engine room with the ownership. the management and whoever's coaching, it all comes from there as well. I mean, we got the players for it, but yeah, how are they going to perform? You need to start off there in the engine room.
And let me ask you guys, what do you think is more attainable right now? Do you think really have a chance at competing for Champions League?
100%.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's your
No.
more than we're happy to entertain your thoughts there, Abdi.
Yeah. Look, with UCL, remember it's luck of the draw as well. We could realistically get someone like Liverpool in the round of 16, or we could get a very favorable draw against one of the lower teams. So with UCL, it's luck of the draw, because if we start to get favorable matchups, I think Fonseca will switch to focusing more on the Champions League, and we'll probably, I don't want to say it, but we might dip away in the league, which I'm scared of. For me, if he can get top 4 and compete deep into the UCL, I'm happy. But I don't know, the league is starting to slip away as it looks. But if these top teams like Inter and Napoli and Juventus from time to time, if they drop points, we should be able to capitalize. But I don't know why we can't string performances together in the Serie A. It doesn't make sense. It frustrates me.
Well, the answer is it's very clear. It's because of the project that we have in place. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the management is they're rubbish. I'll be honest. If I'm being realistic now and stop being childish, yeah, they're not good. They're not good, man.
No.
I mean, like, and especially the way Zlatan talks and just talks nonsense, and Moncada get like doing all these, like, why did we pay for Emerson Royal? I don't understand, genuinely, for the life of me, why we got him. There's a reason Barcelona got rid of him. There's a reason why Spurs, who haven't won trophies in years, got rid of him, because he's not good, and these guys just keep buying him. I don't get it.
But you could see it from country miles away since these morons took over the club. We could see all this shit happening, and it's happening slowly. It's getting destroyed. They're just being irresponsible with who they're buying, this and that. Yeah.
Like, for me,
they don't take the blame. They don't want to take the blame or be responsible for it. They just like to blame other people.
Like, look, realistically, Jerry, he's investing the money, but Forlani and Moncada and they're not using his money correctly. I don't understand why we don't get like Bongiorno, as you said, or Scalvini, or like these big name defenders. Instead, we get a Pavlovic, which is a gamble in itself. So it just doesn't make sense, really and truly. Like that's what frustrates me about this management the most. Like Maldini, okay, he made some mistakes here and there, but his positives outweighed the negatives. Like we got Leao, Theo Hernandez, Ben Nasser, Tonali.
Abdi, it was more than that. All right. I know Roy has spoken about it in his show as well. I'm going to say it again here. Besides that, Maldini did more than just help sign certain players. His mere presence during training,
exactly,
able to communicate, able to talk to certain players, the respect that he got from the players.
Yeah,
exactly.
The way he composed himself, he didn't make an ass of himself on Instagram. He's not pulling the shit that Iber's doing, showing pictures of his head when he has he split his head open, like stupid shit like that. You're the face of the club, and this is amateur shit that you pull. How do you think players are actually going to respect you when they see what you're doing online?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and my question, I wanted to ask you guys a question. You know how before Maldini was the one calling these players that he wanted, And obviously, when you get a call from Maldini, the players, they would be elated and they would immediately want to come to Milan. Now, who is the person calling up these signings? I actually don't know who it is.
Yeah,
Is it Moncada? Is it Zlatan? Forlan?
we
Who is
don't
it
know.
that's calling
We
these
don't
players?
even know.
We have no idea because everybody. It seems like everybody has their piece. You have even when we were picking coaches, Forlani had to say, "Wow, who he wanted to pick as a coach." And who's Forlani? He's a money guy. He's a finance guy, and you give him the
Nobody.
ability. And this falls on Jerry because you're giving
Yeah.
the people that work for you the power to make these decisions and tell them to say, "Shut the fuck up." A serious owner, he's like, "Hey, listen, shut up. Ibra, you're in charge of selecting the coach or whoever it is. Forlani, you deal with the finances." But no,
Yeah.
because Jerry doesn't know how to run a club because he doesn't care enough about anything about the history of the club at all.
He doesn't
None.
even know. He didn't even
Forget
know
that.
we won 7 Champions League.
Yeah, and exactly. You couldn't have done your homework before you invested in the
Come
club.
on. He makes an ass of himself.
You make an ass out of yourself, and this is what
And
we get.
also,
This is falls from the top.
and he's acting like he's a hero, telling people how they should be doing their jobs, this and that. Whereas with Elliot, yeah, Gazidis and Maldini didn't see eye to eye, but with the thing I liked about Elliot is he let all those people do their job at what they're supposed to do. He didn't interfere.
I think with us, now, I think for this style of management to succeed, it's gonna probably turn out to be like a Chelsea, a Todd Bowley. We spend so much to the point where eventually something is gonna go right. If you get what I mean.
And
You really believe
And
that?
also, the other important thing is
Maybe.
these people we got now, none of them are football minded people or have any idea about football. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. Oh,
Abdi, Abdi.
Yeah.
The big thing is even look at the players that we bought. If you want to talk long term, none of these players that we bought recently, maybe for Tajani, but most of them are not. In terms of selling them, are they marketable? Can you get your return on? Can you even make money off some of these players? You're not making money off of Loftus Cheeks. You're not making money off of Emerson Royale. You're not making money off of Pavlovic. So you're actually losing cash too, because this whole idea of investing players and building their value up, where is it? And let's not talk about the youth program too. Today he was forced to play Camarda out of necessity. Something we blame Pioli as well, that he had chosen to start certain players. Yeah, is Camarda more ready than last year? Sure, physically ready to play. Does he deserve to start? Yeah, but what in? So I hope he continues to play the kid, and not a necessity. And where are the other youth players? If we're talking about building up the youth, where's Voss, the kid that we kept hearing about? Where's Zaroli? Where's Liberali? These are the kind of players you need to feed into your system. Kids that know what it is to wear that badge, those colors, and to show them, listen, if you're ready to play, you're going to play. But instead, what are we doing with them?
Yeah, I mean, Kamar today, I was really shocked at how composed he is on the ball. I would have thought that a youngster that comes on against a game like that, that's really difficult, would struggle or would be very frantic in possession. But really, he was calm in possession. He even laid up a sitter for Chukwueze. And this is another problem we have. We don't finish our chances. And Kamada laid up Chukwueze for a beautiful finish, and he just misses it. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with Camarda. And I think with Liberali and that, it's about timing as well. You have to think about it and the depth in that position.
Listen, he should be playing over Loftus Cheek, plain and simple.
I don't agree with that because I love
Abdi.
come on.
What he showed on the pitch, the kid is the most technical player that we have on the ball, and that we have brought up in the last few years. Look at his
Wait,
ball
can you repeat that
skills.
again? I couldn't hear you.
You can't sit there and tell me he's not good enough to play. I'm not saying starting, but
Oh,
to get significant minutes, to get 15, 20, 30 minutes a game.
I know Liberali. I've seen him. He's good. He's very, very, very good. I saw him in pre-season. I think he should. Yeah, I think he should be integrated into the team. I think he's more than ready. But as like with Loftus-Cheek, I think he's just off form. He needs confidence because we saw last season how good he was. But I think people they tend to forget how good players were and why they deserve our time. Because if you remember the brace against Bologna, the goal against Udinese, the goals against Empoli in the Europa League as well. Loftus-Cheek, he's still quality in my eyes. I don't know about everyone else, but a couple of months doesn't define a player. We saw him last season, so I just think that we have to show Loftus-Cheek a little bit more respect, if you get what I mean.
So how long are you willing to give him? What would you like to see in terms of with Loftus-Cheek? Do you want to see him in a different position? You think he's not used right? What's the thing, Abdi?
Genuinely, I think it's a confidence issue because he knows that Fofana and Tijani Reinders are automatic starters, and he knows that Pulisic as well is an automatic starter. So that is kind of affecting his performances because in the game against Napoli, when he gets the ball, like from last season, when he got the ball, immediately he was dribbling 2-3 guys and steaming down the middle of the pitch. Whereas now he's more likely to lay off a pass or take the ball and pass it to a winger and not, do his thing like he was last season. And I'm just really sad for him. Really, I would give him to the end of the season. I think I would give him another season as well. Really and truly, I will always back the players, no doubt, unless they're utter garbage. Nah. So look, when I'm seeing comments like "show RLC the door," are you forgetting what he did for us last season?
Okay, Abdi. And you got to think of what have you done for me lately, right? What have you done for me in this season? Forget about last season. Last season is done with.
The past.
Okay.
It's the past. Okay, it's like we keep reliving the past. Yeah, we've won 7 Champions League. Great, but the last time we ever won anything was in 2007. For crying out loud.
Exactly.
We can't keep reliving the past and saying, "Oh, look what we did. Look at that's the past. That's great.
Right.
Historically, we're a great team, but the last few years we're not anymore. We don't strike fear in the opponents. We've lost our sense as a club. Okay, big picture. Now, small picture, we have players like Loftus-Cheek. The reason why in my opinion, he looked good last season, right?
Yep.
The league didn't quite figure him out, but once, like we said it before, Serie A, they know how to tactically prepare for your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
They figured what to do with Loftus-Cheek going from an EPL style of play where it's just run with just like without a purpose. In Italy, you have to run with a purpose, and most of the time he doesn't. And at the same time, when you're playing as either as a double pivot or as a cam, right? When you're losing the ball, you need to defend. You need to recover balls. You need to get back and mark somebody, which Loftus-Cheek does not do. So if you're not doing one or the other thing, if you're not defending or scoring goals or creating chances, you shouldn't be starting for this club. You shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah, I mean, look, with Loftus-Cheek, I think he's a type of player where it's really based on confidence, like a Marcus Rashford, for an example. So there'll be inconsistencies in his season where when I knew he was completely off form is that chance against Real Madrid, when he realistically should have scored and it was literally there for him on a plate. I think he's just devoid of all confidence at the moment, and I think it's down to Fonseca how he manages that, because for me, you just can't shun out a player so quickly. And I know against the games against like Lazio, if I remember correctly, Torino and Parma, he was pretty bad. But Like
So
the quality is there.
let's take that for a second, right? Let's focus on for a minute
Yeah.
his confidence. Now, when you have the right coach in place, you can turn those players make them into complete studs. You can change that around, right? Or if you see a player who's lacking confidence, if you have a certain coach or a coaching staff, whatever it is, they're able to pick that player up and motivate them. So this falls again on the coaching decisions as well.
Yeah, well,
If you can't help motivate your player, get him out of a funk, that falls on the coaching staff at the same time, not just the player. All right.
But realistically, I think from Seka, like some of these decisions he's making with like Jovic and stuff, they're kind of forced in a way because the pressure he's facing right now is more than any other manager, because it seems after every loss or draw, there's speculation about us getting a new manager. So he's forced to make these decisions where he's benching Loftus-Cheek and depriving him of minutes. So I don't necessarily want to blame Fonseca because I know he's low on time and everyone is already calling for his head. But I think we should back him, because look, Jurgen Klopp, he was backed for 4 years and eventually got them a UCL. Inzaghi, if we talk about Inzaghi, let's be honest, he hasn't succeeded that much at Inter Milan. They should have won the Scudetto when we won it, but he didn't. And the season prior, he didn't win it against Napoli. And then now finally he's won. But they backed him.
Abdi, you speak to any coach. If you follow tactical, if you follow the sport as a whole, the amount of praise, the amount of people talk about Inzaghi, the way he plays the game. The people, podcasters, foreign podcasters, everybody, they talk about Inzaghi. They hold him at a high regard more than Fonseca. They do. Inzaghi, he has jobs lined up in the EPL if he wanted to. That's how much high regard they have for that coach.
He did a fantastic job last season. Absolutely.
He's at a very different level tactically than a lot of coaches is.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. His football is sublime. However, when he came to the club, he had rough patches and many Inter fans wanted him gone, but the management stuck with him. They gave him the signings he wanted, and now he's succeeding. If he wanted to, in that crisis moment, he could have changed his tactics or gone with something more attacking, but he stuck to what he believed in and his philosophy. He got back, and now they're reaping what they sowed. They stuck by him, and now he's playing champagne football, unfortunately, which I don't like to say, but he plays disgustingly good football. So that's what I mean when I say, like, you have to back your manager.
Let me ask you that, Abby. So say we finish 6th place and Fonseca stays. How would you feel about that?
No.
I would
6th or 5th.
I would say there's brighter days to come. I mean, playing in the Conference League, oh God. No, I would back him. I would back him to the hill, 100%, because I think
come on.
You have to back your manager.
Listen, Abdi, I gotta give you credit, Abdi. Hold on, guys. We'll get you in a second. I gotta give you credit, Abdi. You do have a spine, unlike some other people that I know that keep changing their opinions on the team and coaches every other fucking day.
Yeah.
You stick by your guns.
Yeah,
so
because
I'll give you that, Abdi. I don't agree with you. I think what you say is totally crazy. but you stick by your guns, so don't change for anybody. If this is what you truly believe, this is what you think, stick by it. Because the minute you change and you flip the script, I will call you out, Abdi.
100%, and I would want you to do that if I ever do. But it will hurt me to be in 6th. But I know you have to back your manager, and the Serie A is at its most competitive ever. So we also have to think about that as well. It's at its most competitive and lethal. Like now, we're dropping points. And who knows, maybe Napoli might win and go full steam ahead. Juventus are winning now, I think. The gap will grow bigger and bigger and bigger because the Serie A is at its peak.
I'll
So
hold you. I'll hold your word on this, Abdi. Let's get back at the end of the season and see how you feel then. If you stick to your word, good for you.
100%. I mean, the
Credit for
only
you.
time I would go against Fonseca is if we end up in like 10th, back to Banter era, or even relegation. That's when I would say that can't run. But look, am I wrong in saying if he had Maldini behind him, if Fonseca had Maldini behind him, all of this wouldn't be an issue. He would be getting the players he wanted. No?
Well, he does it
Well,
right.
if Maldini was there, he wouldn't have Fonseca. He would have someone else.
Well, well, yeah, but I mean, look, yeah, let's say in the alternate universe, Jerry says, "I want Fonseca, and that's who I'm gonna get." You have to deal with him and get him what he wants. Do you not still think that Fonseca would succeed?
All right, hold on, guys. I got Lab in here as well.
Lab, what's going on?
I'm all right. I'm just here to represent England again, not just Abdi.
What's up? All right, Lab, say your
I'm
piece.
all
Lab.
good, man.
I know you have a lot in your mind.
I have a lot on my mind. I have
Let
a lot
it
on
out,
my
my
mind.
friend. Let it out.
I'm here because Abdi, can I ask you a question, mate? You are consistent, and I will give you that. I will 100% give you that. I need to ask you. How old are you, just out of interest?
Yeah, 20.
20, mate. You're a baby. Okay. So
Yeah, I get that a lot.
when did you start supporting Milan?
In like 2019, like just before lockdown times.
Bro.
But I know before that, when I was a bit younger, on FIFA 9 and stuff, like I was always choosing Milan. So the love was there, but then like when I was in school and from like the 2010s to 2020, I was just mostly watching big games, but I knew Milan were in the mud. I knew that they were in the mud, but just before lockdown, that's when I started to consistently watch football, like week in, week out.
So you see, guys, this is really important. This is context. This is what I wanted to hear. This guy came along in 2019. This is literally, he's been watching the team through hell. At the beginning, so it's not really Abdi's fault. The fact that he hasn't physically felt what it was like to have the most powerful team in the whole world wearing our shirt. He doesn't know what it was like to turn up to a match and be hosting Man United and knowing that we would rip their guts out and we would take them to pieces. So Abdi, this is what I was like. I've seen you. I think I've seen you on Rosseneri, right? You're on that sometimes, aren't you? Yeah. So I've seen you on now. I was like, this kid is so positive. Why? And I was like, he sounds young, but I wanna just get the chance to ask him a question. This is the thing.
Yeah.
You know, Nicko, all of us who are listening to this, it's really important to have this context. If you start supporting the team at that time, you don't have that sensation. You don't yet. Abdi has simply not had the time to feel that Milanismo that we've had in the early 2000s, for example. Because he wasn't born then. That's the crazy thing about him.
I wasn't.
He wasn't born then. And that's the thing. No. It's like there's a guy on here, Cacciavite, right? Or Cacciavite, I would say. Screwdriver in Italian. So if he's been a fan since the early 1980s, which is the same as me, I've literally, Abdi, I've literally seen Van Basten play. I've watched Baresi play. Yeah, mate. Yeah, so there's an age gap here. So I think there's two things that we have to kind of look at each other. One is it's 2024. This is the Milan of right now. What are realistic expectations? Which I completely understand, right? Realistic expectations are, and everyone's going to hate me for this, top 4 is good enough. Realistic expectations for current ownership, top 4 is like, you've done it. But to us, who have been there and seen a team that literally could turn up against anybody and rip them to shreds and keep the ball for as long as they wanted. I've seen Pirlo at his peak. You know, I've seen him. Do you get me? I've seen Kaká running at players at full speed in my time. I've seen Shevchenko score goals out of nowhere. I've seen Maldini defend at left back. I've seen him defend at centre back. I've seen Baresi because this is the
Yeah.
thing. It's about life experience, and I think it's fair enough to say that Abdi, you've come along at a tough
Yeah.
time in a club, so you haven't physically felt what that is, and so you've got to kind of understand that a lot of us, actually, I think a lot of us, maybe even Roy, I don't know, I think Roy might be kind of similar age, Nico, to us, kind of thing, you know, maybe a bit younger, I don't know, but the way I'm thinking is, for those of us who've experienced that, it's very hard to swallow this. Do you get me?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to swallow this. It's actually really painful because we've seen the greatest time. Then we went through the banter era. And the biggest thing that was really bad was during the banter era, Abdi, we
Mhm.
knew that these Chinese owners were really faking it. We knew, but they never turned around to us and said, we're going to win everything. They went through a transfer window and bought a ton of players that were a bunch of shite, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just play like garbage. But we knew when we were watching them that we were not going to get anywhere, right? The problem right now is that these guys have come in and they've said to us, we're going to build your stadium. We're going to make it the greatest stadium in the whole of Europe. We're going to be revolutionary. We're going to revolutionize the whole of Serie A. We're going to compete for things. The truth is, Abdi, when you look at things, you look at the
Yeah.
game today. The game today tells you this is not a team to win the league because we don't have that consistency. Correct or not?
I No, I disagree with that.
You
I
see,
think the squad is more than capable. I think they're more than capable for them to go to the Bernabeu and okay, forget even the Inter game. Okay, even if let's put the Inter game aside, to
yeah.
beat Madrid, who Dortmund could not beat and got battered by, is something that
Hold on,
opened my eyes
Abdi,
into
No,
Abdi,
this
no, no,
kid.
no, no,
Abdi,
no, no.
Abdi.
No, no,
That
come on.
Madrid team that we're seeing
Yeah,
is not the same team as last season.
No, come on. Let's get that right.
Everybody knows.
yeah,
I have Real Madrid. I have friends who are Madristas, and they've been
yeah.
saying it since the last month or so. They wanted Carlo out. They know
What?
how poor this team is. It's not a good team. It's not a balanced team. They have good
Mhm.
individual
Yeah,
players, yeah, but they're not the same Madrid as last season. They're not the same Madrid as the past. They're not. And for the fact that the way that management celebrated it afterwards,
Come on.
like it was
I,
this,
It's
this
not.
big win.
It's not
It's
Nico. It's not. In my opinion, it's not just management, right? It's a lot of media. They grab that. I mean, if you look at the Gazzetta headlines the day after, Real Milan. You know, that was the big headline. And I thought, okay, you got to take everything in context. You know, our performances the entire season have not been up to par. We've put in a performance against Inter, and I could give excuses, and you could give Nico plenty of explanation as to why that performance came out. Then we put in
Mm-hmm.
a performance against Real Madrid. And again, we can talk about that. Abdi, I get your
Mhm.
point. You saw what you saw against Real Madrid, and you took a
Yeah,
lot of hope out of that and thought, well, if this
yeah.
team is capable of that level, then it should be able to do that against everyone. That
Mhm.
isn't the case. Real Madrid don't sit there waiting for you. They don't sit there on the counter attack waiting for you. Real Madrid will literally do what they want. And at the moment, there's a lot of discussion that Mbappe has completely destabilized them. And they were just coming off, remember, they just came off a 4-0 loss against Barcelona. They got
Yeah.
absolutely dismantled. Then,
Mm-hmm.
because of what happened in Spain, they hadn't played for 10 games, 10 days, sorry. And I said
Mhm.
in one of our pre games, I said, one of our chances is that we might catch them cold and they've been in
Mhm.
bad form. But they still have, and Nico said this, they have still have so many individual players with so much talent that they could blast us off the park if they catch it, as they did against
Yeah.
Dortmund, right? They did go,
Yeah.
however, 2 goals down against Dortmund. Their defense has been very porous the entire season. To me, to win the league, you need consistency. And as I put it in the chat, I don't think you need to beat an Inter. You don't need to beat a Juve. You don't need to beat the other top four. What you need to do is beat everyone else consistently. And this team is incapable of doing that because Fonseca doesn't see, and he's openly said it. This is the weird thing about this manager. He has said it. He's finding it harder to figure out Serie A teams than he is to figure out teams in Europe. And I saw your point in about the Champions League, and I just literally finish off on that because I need to go. But on the Champions League, I think you're right, Abdi. If it now goes to form, because we've now picked up these 3 points, we're on 6 points, right? We could potentially make the top 8 in a total points, okay? But remember one thing. This Champions League is now set up so that every team is ranked according to where they finish, and that's where they will be placed in the next round. So it's very important for Milan to finish as high as possible to avoid a team like Liverpool.
Exactly.
Because Liverpool showed you the true limitation of our squad. Liverpool showed you what happens to this Milan team when it goes up against truly well-organized teams. We will get blown out the water. I'll finish off there. I've been talking too much. Nicko.
Lab, I want to add something to it as well.
Go ahead, Kim.
To the Madrid thing. You also forgot about the Ballon d'Or drama as well. That affected them mentally as well. It got to them.
Well, you can. I mean, you can say that, but look, at the end of the day, you guys know yourselves. When you go to the Bernabeu, the minute that Rudiger goal went in, even me, as positive as I am, said, "Yeah, that's game over," because we know what they're gonna do. If you give them an inch, they will go the mile. Pause. So I can't discredit that win. But I took some positives from it, and I thought that we would go ahead, whoop Cagliari, go and whoop Juventus, which I still think we will do. But I don't know, the Serie A is just, it's like a kryptonite to us. I don't understand why it's so difficult.
Abdi, the kryptonite is that these coaches in Syria, which Glad mentioned just a minute ago, and I've been talking about it for I don't know how many times on this show and other podcasts. Syria is a different animal tactically. It's a very tactical league. And coaches figure out, like, listen, even at the beginning of the season when we with Torino, Parma, these games that we should have won on paper, those are very good tactical coaches. And they come after you. They understand how to win games in Italy. Right. And in the case of Real Madrid, the big thing is not, I wouldn't even worry about the Ballon d'Or thing, not too much. The fact that they didn't replace Cruz. Kraus was their midfield general that did so many things for them. Bellingham doesn't do that. He doesn't have the ability yet. Camavinga's not that player. Modric is a shell of himself. And you saw that on the field. When Modric is getting outworked by Musa, which is insane to me, that means they've lost a step, right? And they're just looking for moments of individual brilliance. How many times did Mbappe have chances? Did he go out in the break and outrun Tomori, but he didn't finish his chances?
Yeah, but we know Madrid what they're going to do.
So what I'm saying is, big pictures. Yeah, great. You can be happy for the Madrid game, and all right. Well, we all saw it. Most of us saw it. Who've been watching this team for a long time, all right? We understood. Okay, forget about it. That's great, but overall, we shouldn't have just say, "Wow, we won a game against Madrid." It's over. It's done with. The minute we stepped out of Bernabeu and we came back to Italy, now you focus back on Syria.
Yeah.
Don't even worry what we did in Real Madrid. What the house? Who gives a shit?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in the long picture. In terms of the historical moments of this club, that's not a big win for us.
No.
Maybe for these current players that have never won anything, players like Musa, Pulisic, for them to beat Real Madrid, that's huge. For coach like Fonseca to beat Real Madrid, that's huge. For Jerry as an owner to say, look, I beat Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. That's huge for him. That's something he can brag about to his friends.
Yeah,
but people who know football, who've been around this game for long, realize in the big picture that doesn't mean jack shit. and you win the league, just like John says, you win leagues by beating teams like Cagliari. All right.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, Barcelona did it last.
Consistency.
Yeah, if you remember when Barcelona won La Liga a few seasons ago, they won because of two things. Not because of their offense, they won because of their defense. One,
Okay.
and they beat smaller teams.
Yep.
That's how you win. Those two things. If you could play good defense throughout the season and you can beat small teams, you're almost guaranteed to win the league most of the time.
Being consistent.
And be consistent. Go on runs.
Yeah.
Win 5 games in a row. Win 4 games in a row.
Us, we're definitely not consistent.
And also, if you keep seeing the same patterns over and over again defensively, they haven't been corrected yet by the coaching staff. They made little tweaks here and there. They have adjusted certain things, yeah. But overall, they're still making the same errors time and time again.
100%.
So, listen, yeah, guys, listen. We've been for an hour 42.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Abdi, you're always welcome to come back on. Kim,
Yeah.
you too, my man.
Lab
as well.
He's gone.
All right, guys. So Juve's still up 1-0 on Torino. 83rd
Second
minute.
goal. Hold on.
That's right.
Have they scored a second goal yet?
Fardinho just said that in the chat.
Oh, I'm behind then, boys. All right. So it looks like it's Juve's got 3 points.
It's 2-0. 2-0.
All right, 2-0. And then tomorrow,
Yildiz scored.
But the big game tomorrow is Inter Napoli. That's the game I'll be looking at tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody in the chat, thanks for jumping on and keeping the conversation flowing. Pete, Fadinho, Abdullah,
Roy
as well. Who else was on earlier today?
Kasavit.
Thanks for jumping on the first time. First-time listeners, please subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already. And smash that like button, fellas. All right, I'm going to be out.
Yeah.
Boys, Milan Nation,
All right,
thanks
see you.
again. Abdi, Kim, thanks for jumping on. Good conversation. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
And always Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
Of course, Forza Milan.
All right.
Yeah. See you. Ciao.
Red dreams are made of this. Nicko's here, breaking down the bliss. Defensive lines and Milan schemes. A passion for the red and black team. He's diving deep, showing us how the Rosseneri shape up now. From Paulo's legacy to modern play, Nicko's insights light the way. Some tune in to just catch goals, but he knows defense is what holds. Passion flows from the mic each week. AC Milan's rise is what he seeks. Some tune in to just catch goals, but he knows defense is what holds. Passion flows from the mic each week. AC Milan's rise is what he seeks. Some tune in to just catch goals, but he knows defense is what holds. Passion flows from the mic each week. AC Milan's rise is what he seeks. tune in to just catch goals, but he knows defense is what holds. Passion flows from the mic each week. AC Milan's rise is what he seeks. Some tune in to just catch goals, but he knows defense is what holds. Passion flows from the mic each week. AC Milan's rise is what he seeks.